You've probably heard it a million times in movies, on TV shows, maybe even from a teacher. We only use 10% of our brains. It's one of the most persistent and popular myths out there. The idea is so tantalizing, isn't it? Imagine if we could unlock the other 90%. We could become super geniuses, develop psychic powers, or move objects with our minds, just like in the movies. But is there any truth to it? Today, we're going to dive deep into our own skulls and separate the fact from the fiction. The short answer? The 10% myth is exactly that, a myth. The long answer is way more fascinating. So, where did this idea even come from? Pinpointing the exact origin is tricky because it seems to have evolved over time. Some people attribute it to the early 20th century psychologist William James, who once wrote that the average person develops only a small portion of their potential. He was talking about our mental potential, not the physical mass of our brain being unused. Others point to a misinterpretation of early neuroscience experiments. When scientists couldn't figure out the function of certain large brain areas, like the frontal lobes, they called them silent areas. This didn't mean they were doing nothing, just that their function wasn't immediately obvious with the tools they had at the time. Think about it from a biological perspective. The brain is an incredibly greedy organ. It makes up only about 2% of our body weight, yet it consumes a whopping 20% of our oxygen and calories. From an evolutionary standpoint, it would be absurd for nature to develop such an energy-expensive organ only to have 90% of it sit idle. It's like building a massive, power-hungry supercomputer and only using it as a calculator. Evolution is far more efficient than that. If we really had that much spare brain tissue, natural selection would have likely favored smaller, more efficient brains long ago to save energy. Every part of your brain has a job to do. Let's look at the evidence from modern brain imaging. Technologies like fMRI, which stands for Functional Magnetic Resonance Imaging, and PET scans, or positron emission tomography, allow scientists to see our brains in action. What do they show? They show that even when you're doing something very simple, like talking or listening to me right now, multiple areas of your brain are lighting up with activity. And when you're sleeping, your brain is still incredibly busy, consolidating memories, clearing out waste products, and preparing for the next day. There's no dormant 90% just waiting to be activated. Over the course of a full day, as you think, feel, move, and dream, use virtually every part of your brain. So, if we're already using 100% of our brains, what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean all parts are firing at maximum capacity all at once. That would be like having every light in your house on full blast, every appliance running, and the music turned up to 11 simultaneously. It wouldn't be efficient. It would be chaotic like a seizure. Instead, our brain functions like a beautifully coordinated orchestra. Different sections become more active depending on the task at hand. When you're reading, your visual cortex is hard at work. When you're listening to music, your auditory cortex takes the lead. When you're making a decision, your frontal lobes are in charge. The brain is all about teamwork and efficiency, delegating tasks to specialized regions as needed. Let's break it down even further. Think about a simple action, like picking up a cup of coffee. To do this, your frontal lobes have to plan the movement. Your motor cortex sends signals to your arm and hand muscles. Your cerebellum helps coordinate the fine motor skills so you don't spill it. Your parietal lobes process the sense of touch as your fingers grip the cup, and your temporal lobes might be processing the sound of the coffee maker in the background. Your occipital lobe is processing the visual information, where the cup is, how full it is. All of this happens in an instant. A seamless symphony of neural activity across your entire brain. No part is truly silent or unused. But wait, what about those amazing stories of people who have suffered a brain injury and then recovered, with other parts of the brain taking over the lost functions? This incredible ability is called neuroplasticity. It's the brain's capacity to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. This doesn't mean a dormant part suddenly wakes up. It means an existing, active part learns a new skill. For example, if the area responsible for a specific finger's movement is damaged, a neighboring brain region that controls another finger might remap itself to take over that function. This is a powerful testament to the brain's flexibility, not evidence of a vast unused reserve. It's about adaptation, not activation of something that was previously off. So if the 10% myth is false, why is it so appealing? I think it taps into our deep-seated desire for self-improvement and untapped potential. The idea that there's a simple switch we could flip to become smarter, more creative, or more capable is incredibly alluring. It gives us a sense of hope and mystery. And let's be honest, it's a great plot device for movies like Lucy or Limitless. It makes for exciting storytelling, but it's not scientific reality. The real story of our brain's potential is less about unlocking hidden parts and more about how we use the amazing, complex organ we already have. The truth is, you don't need to unlock anything. Your potential for growth and learning is already immense. Neuroplasticity shows us that we can continue to learn, adapt, and build new skills throughout our entire lives. Learning a new language, picking up a musical instrument, or even just challenging your mind with puzzles strengthens the neural pathways in your brain. You are literally reshaping your brain with every new experience and piece of knowledge you acquire. The key to unlocking your potential isn't finding a magic 90%. It's about engaging the 100% you have in new and challenging ways. It's about lifelong learning, curiosity, and practice. So the next time someone tells you we only use 10% of our brains, you can confidently set the record straight. We use all of it, just not all at once. Our brain is a dynamic, efficient, and constantly active organ. The real magic isn't in some hidden, unused portion, but in the incredible complexity and adaptability of the brain we use every single second of every single day. The potential for growth lies not in a mythical percentage, but in our commitment to challenge and nurture the incredible supercomputer we all carry in our heads. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of science's most famous myths. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the amazing world of science. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.